Hey guys, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and get this. This is the beginning of season 4, first episode of season 4. And this episode of this season, we're going to be looking at implementing some new additional systems into this early calc framework that we've started to build. So let's go ahead and get into this. And I've got my screen shared right now. Let's go ahead and switch that to my screen. So screen share. There we go. Okay. So if you remember the last episode we finished implementing the loggers system, which we put in, I believe it was under, let's see here, it was under Executrix loggers. So this was the last file that we finished implementing, but there's something interesting there. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't see anything.
So yeah, we implemented this logger system, and if you look carefully, we had this console log. Let's go back even further to like this. I guess it was under like just any file, just any of these controllers. Let's go to Warden.js. Remember we had these console.logs, and we implemented everything in these begin. And it was $, curly brace, namespace, prefix, $, function name. And we did that like at the beginning of the function, the inputs, the return, the end of the function. We did that all over the place, all over our code. And some of the places in the middle of the code just to debug it. And you probably did some of that in the debugging process, which is great. That's perfect. However, we need to standardize this a little bit more. And you'll notice, like, if I can comment this, there's this client business rules is, and then you've got this $, and then that's the parameter that's being logged. Well, technically, this component, this is an inline string. If you know your JavaScript, this is inline parameterized string with this $, and that's done with this backtick. If it was a single quote instead of a backtick, then it would just be a hard-coded string. So if I was going to do this line of code the same way as a hard-coded string, it would be console.log, single quote instead of a backtick. Those are different. Okay, so this is a backtick. This is a single quote. Okay, if we do a single quote and I do client business rules is, and then I end that and I go plus, and then I did this JSON.stringify client business rule, and I put that there without the $, curly brace. Those two lines of code are essentially exactly the same thing. The only difference is this one is using inline with the backtick, and this one is using string composition. Okay. Yes.
Big G says he can't hear anything.
Oh, can't hear anything. Okay. Let's see here.
He says he hears other Discord sounds, though.
Oh, okay. So it's probably his sound settings. There, he said he got it. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, good. No worries. No, thank you for calling that out. All right. So, yeah. So these two lines are exactly the same. In either case, even with this backtick inline string definition, this component of that string is still a hard-coded string. And ultimately, hard-coded strings are a flavor or a variant of magic variables. And magic variables are something like this. So if I give you an example of a magic variable, we could say let a equals 5, or just 5. Okay. Now I just use a in place wherever I'm going to use my code. Then I'm using a. But like, what is a? Well, I mean, people just look at it and you're looking at your code and you're scrolling through big long lines of code like this and you just see a. And you're like, well, what is a? Well, you can use a more descriptive name and describe it a little bit better, but it's still the same thing. It's still a magic variable that it's assigned to a hard-coded value. Okay? And magic variables are really bad for code, especially code maintenance. It's not best practice. It's not good idea at all. And even more so for strings. Strings, it's even worse. Because strings, it's so easy to have a typo like that, and you might not even notice it. That's kind of a bad example, but let me go like there. Like you're going to struggle to see that. I put an M in place of an N. If this string is important for the function of the software, then the function is going to break. And so this is really not good to use these hard-coded strings. Furthermore, if you ever want to make your application be able to support international languages, you cannot have hard-coded strings in your code. It's just not going to work. Because if you want to switch to French or German, guess what? All your code is using hard-coded strings, it's broken. And so you have to be able to parameterize all of your strings and make it driven by language. So you can specify a code lookup variable that looks up what the string should be based on what language you're using for the application. Okay, so these kinds of things are important, and it's especially important for the future support of the software overall, like how easy it is to do maintenance. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a constants library, and we're going to refactor and remove all hard-coded strings from everywhere in our code. Okay, and once we do that, then these console logs are going to clean up. And everywhere else we're using hard-coded strings, it's important to get this in, but we have to have a convention. There's a naming standard, and there's a convention of how we define and build out our constant system, because it is another system that we need to do this right. I'm going to comment that out so we get back to that for now. But you get the idea, right? There is these systems that have to be put in place. Let me just Control Z all the way out. Okay. Yeah, I got that. I wanted to make sure I didn't make any changes actual. So we need a constant system, and we need it to be, I went a little overboard here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I did. And because the system, this constant system that I've built is so rigorously defined, we actually use constants to define other constants. So it's a fully parameterized constant system. In other words, we go down to individual characters. And so we use those to build up other constants, and then those constants are used to build up other constants, and then those constants are used to build up other constants. So it's an entire hierarchical tree of constants inheritance. It's not like object-oriented inheritance. Okay, that's different. Patrice, you know this. It's very different from object-oriented inheritance. This is compositional inheritance, which is completely different. Okay, and it means that when we define it, it's going to be an established, almost like an axiom. I don't know if you know what an axiom means, but an axiom is an established fact that is self-evident. For instance, a good axiom of reality is light is bright, right? And darkness is dark. Another good axiom is gravity pulls down, right? These are axioms. Another axiom is the number axioms, right? The zero is a null number. It means nothing. Or the number one means one entity, right? So you kind of, they're self-evident. You don't need to have a proof to show that gravity pulls down. It's self-evident. Gravity pulls down. You just, it fell, right? So that's the idea. So we're going to define these constants using a similar format that's almost like an axiom format. And so that's kind of what we're going to do here. And first, we're going to make a new folder called, by the way, this is going to suck. I want to prefix that. This is going to suck. However, there's a reason behind the suck. Okay, the reason behind the suck is I want you guys to, and anybody who's watching this later, the formats and the standards that I've implemented in the constant system require a certain dexterity of the fingers, and some of that is muscle memory in the mind. And so I want you guys to develop your dexterity of the fingers and the muscle memory in the mind and the connection between the mind and the fingers, so that you can be fluent in this constant system. Being fluent in the constant system is going to help you and help all of us to accelerate our code development and maintain our performance as how we write code at the highest tier, the highest level. So the more you engage with the suck at this level, the better things are going to be later. Okay. You can see this constant system in action a little bit right here. There's wrd.c system. Okay. There's an example of that C system. I think this is an old version. Hold on. I may be on the wrong repo. I'm pretty sure I am. Yep, I am. Let me switch over. Okay. This is where we should be. So, yeah, let me close all of these. This is where we really left off. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's another repo I was looking at. But let's go here. Let me come back to this controllers where we had this example. And yeah, here we have this console log. It's the same thing. But you're going to see this. It's going to be like a WRD means word. So word constants, they're going to be, the constants are divided into libraries. And it's going to have a 3-letter prefix, dot, a C prefix, and then the actual constant. Okay, C is going to indicate that it is a constant, and WRD indicates that it's from the word constants library or the word constants file, but there's a lot of them. They're all broken down. Now, I want to mention the suck is only going to suck once. Okay, it's not going to suck forever. So I encourage you to work with me, bear through the pain. We're going to struggle through it one time, and after that, we're going to continue to use what we've built for a little while, and then we're going to switch over to the constants system, which is the actual constants library that is provided by Haystacks. So Haystacks has a constants library. It's on GitHub. It's published on NPM, and we can just use that directly. But I want to encourage us to work through the suck because, yeah, it's going to help to build that muscle memory. And I've done this probably 2 or 3, maybe 4, I don't know, maybe half a dozen times. I've built this constants library over and over and over and over and over and over. Many times I've rebuilt this thing. So I have embraced the suck over and over and over and over. And it has sucked, especially rewriting it again and again and again. That said, it got to the point where it was very big, and I started building utilities into the framework that helps me to manage that suck. So it got better, and it will get better for you. But I want you to embrace the suck just one time. We're going to work through it, and then we're going to improve from there. So with that said, we do need a constants folder. Okay, so what we have so far is we have a broker under source. We have brokers, business rules, controllers, exutrix, this resources with configuration, structures, and then this main.js. So now we need a new folder for constants. Okay, and we're going to start by, and this, by the way, there's going to be some homework for you because we're not just learning the finger dexterity and how to code constants and all of that stuff. There's also multi-line editing. Yeah, okay. There's also multi-line editing, which if you're on Windows, I believe is Control-Alt, and I think on Linux it's Control-Shift. And then we can do multi-line editing in VS Code. We're going to try that. You're going to learn how to do it. I want you to try it out on your system. We're going to work through it together. But let's get into it. And by the way, like I said, you're going to have some homework. You're going to have to go after this session, and you're going to have to implement some of these constants on your own. Because this first one that we're going to build is really big. Really, really, really big. And it's a lot of repetitive stuff. So you may as well just do it. Now I'll do some of it just so you can understand the pattern, and then you can go build the rest of it, and we'll move on to the rest. So the first constant, I'll review the constants. So all of the constants files, here's what they are. There's basic constants, business constants, configuration constants, country constants, function constants, which I think that's going to be removed. I also had constants, which is also removed. Generic constants, language constants, message constants, numeric constants, phonic constants, which is what it is. It sounds like hooked on phonics. It's phonic-based constants or phonetic constants. System constants, unit constants, and word constants. Okay, that's what we're going to start with. When you go to the actual Haystacks constants library that's published on NPM, it's actually more segregated than that. There's more stuff. It's more libraries. They're more broken down, and we can talk about that later. Let's start with this. I'm going to start the basics new file, and we're going to say basic.constants.js. Yeah. Okay. So first, we have our header, as always, /* at file basic.constants.js. At module, it's called basic dash constants. I think this standard changes a little bit when we get to the one with Haystacks Tech, the Haystacks, the constants library. Things might change it a little bit. There might be a few little nuances, but this is the way it is this early version. So we'll just go with it. At description contains constants for all of the most basic characters and basic 2-character combinations. Okay. Again, write at author, claim it as your own. This is yours, so put your name here. And at date, okay, today is 2026. It is 02/26. Okay, and then put your at copyright, which I'll just copy over from there, and we'll call it copyright 2026. All rights reserved. Okay. And now we're going to get into it. So let your fingers start to adopt the suck. Let C space with an uppercase S equals empty space. Okay. Let C underscore equals underscore. And then at the end, we put double / and then the actual character that is the actual definition. So I know that this is not as efficient as just using that. I understand that. And yes, there's a method to the madness. I understand it's not as efficient, but there is a method to the madness. By parameterizing every character, every string, and every constant like this, we're going to gain a lot of interesting benefits that come out of doing it this way. I sort of took a strategy when I thought about this. I was like, okay, yeah, it's not as efficient when you come to the actual code if I have to reference these constants instead of hard coding my strings or just coding it directly into the code. However, parameterizing it like this gives us significant advantages, especially in this age of AI. It's really interesting. So again, trust the method. You're going to see some really cool stuff. I was like, okay, what happens if I do this? How far can I push? I sort of viewed this from a tech debt perspective, as tech debt is a metric that measures entropy, code entropy. And so highly specific code is going to have lower entropy. And this is very highly specific. This is, I think, what some people might even consider negative entropy, because it's way, way less code entropy, way less way less unspecified information than doing it this way, or the traditional way, right? So yeah, let C pipe equal, oops, we got to do single quotes, vertical pipe, okay, and vertical pipe. Let C exclamation equal exclamation mark. Now I'm actually out of practice because I need to get my fingers back in. I haven't been doing this long enough, recent enough. Let C question equals question. Okay, question. Let C single quote equals single quote. And I think we have to escape this one. Yeah. There we go. Single quote. Did I miss something? I thought I missed something somewhere. No, I don't think I did. Okay. Let C back tick quote equals single quote. Okay, yeah, that's good. I thought I had a double quote in there somewhere, but I guess I don't. So backtick quote is single quote, backtick quote is this. And we don't need to escape that one. Okay, backtick. Once we get through these, then it'll go a little bit faster until we get to the two character combinations. Backtick C double quote equals double quote, and order matters. Okay, that's a double quote. We need to escape that one. No, we do not. Okay, let C forward slash equals forward slash. Don't need to escape. Let C I don't want to lose my space. Okay. Yes. C double forward slash equals double forward slash. Okay. C open. Oops. Let C open parenthesis. Single quote, open parenthesis. Let C close parenthesis, close parenthesis. Okay, let C open bracket that's the square bracket, okay? Open square bracket. Let C close bracket equals close bracket. Let C open curly brace equals open curly brace. Let C close curly brace equals single quote close curly brace. Let C carriage return equals \R \R. So that's your carriage return. And then C, let's see, new line equals a new line character, which is \n. So we escape that one. /\n. Let C plus equals the plus symbol. Let C star equals star symbol. Let C dash equals the dash symbol. Okay. Let C double dash equals double dash. Let C equal. Did I get that right? Yes. Okay, and we are hard coding these strings. Did I get that right? Equals equal. Yeah, it just looks weird because it's equals equals. Okay, and now we do some interesting stuff here. This one is C. Oops, I did misspell that. EQ equal. There we go. This one is equal equals double equals. Okay. Let C equal equals triple equals. Yeah, I know. It's a little bit weird. Okay. Some of this comes back to the code, but let's keep going. Let C not equals not, I'm sorry, exclamation mark, double equals. Okay, so that is exclamation mark double equals. That is essentially not equal. Okay, let C greater than equals this one. It's actually worn off on my keyboard. I've used it so much. Greater than symbol. Let C less than equals less than symbol, which is also worn off on my keyboard. I've been using it so much. Okay, less than. Let C arrow function equals C equal plus C greater than. See, so now we're using constants to define constants. So we do equals arrow. That's the arrow function. So we're using two constants to define another constant. That's how that's going to work. Let C at equals the at symbol. Oops, that one got offset. At. Let C hash equals the pound sign, or the hash symbol. Let C dollar equals the dollar sign symbol. Let C percent equals the percent symbol. Let C double percent equals percent. Oops, percent. And we do that one because we use it as a delimiter. And actually, this should be what I have done before. What I have in my reference is percent plus C percent. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do percent dot repeat 2. Okay, that's a way of doing that, so you don't actually have to define it. We could do it up here with the equals equals. That would be one way of doing it, so you just all reference to that one. It doesn't matter, whatever. Like we do that stuff when we get to the haystacks constants, which it's already done. You don't have to worry about it. But let's just keep going. This one is percent. Okay. Let C caret equals the hat symbol or the caret symbol. And add the comment. Let C ampersand equals the ampersand symbol. Oops, ampersand. Let C dot equals the period. Okay, let C comma equals the comma. Let C semicolon equals the semicolon. Oh, this one is colon, actually. We need to do that one first. Let C colon equals the colon. Okay, and then the semicolon, okay. And last but not least, let C tilde equals the tilde symbol. Okay. All right. Those are the common, those are the special characters, and then we get into lowercase letters. Okay. Let CA equals A. A. Let CB equals B. B. Let C C equals C. So you can see the suck here, right? Yes, it does suck. But like I said, we only do this once, and we're not going to have to do it again. Let C E equals E. Let CD, no, F, sorry. Okay, I got to learn my alphabet again. F. Let CG equals CG equals G. H. CH equals H. Let CI equals I. Let CJ equals J. Let CK equals K. Let L. Let C element OP. Yeah. People always see stuff about that. Element OP. Okay, M. Let CN. Oh. Yeah. Equals N. Let C O equals O. Let CP equals P. Let C Q equals Q. Let CR equals R. Let C S S. Let C T equals T. Now, you can see my fingers are starting to get a little bit faster because I'm starting to get that dexterity back, that muscle memory. TU. Let C V equals V. Let C W equals W. So the more you do this, the more your fingers are you're going to start to get that real speed. CX equals X. Let CY equals Y. Let CZ equals Z. Okay, and then we do uppercase letters. Okay, now this is where we can do multi-line editing. I have to double check and make sure that this works on my system. Control Shift, yes. It might be, so I can select multiple lines this way. You can see I've got all of these lines with the cursor selecting. I've got multiple lines flashing with the cursor. And then I can do Control Shift and then select all of these like this. Copy, come back over here, and paste. And I've just replicated all of those lines. And now all I have to do is go down the line. C, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H, I, J, K, L, M. Again, on Windows, I believe it's Control Alt N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Okay, now I got to go down the line and do that again. But instead of doing that, I could just actually do Control Shift, come down the line here, Control Shift, just Shift over 1, Control C, and now I can come over to here, Control Shift, come down again, select each of those, and Control V. So I've replaced all of them all at once. And I can come down here again, this one, Shift over, Control V, and I'm done. See how much faster that went?
How did you do this on Windows again?
Control Alt, yes. In VS Code, it's Control Alt.
I think it works.
What's that?
I'm not sure if it's working if I'm doing it correctly. I'm doing Control Alt and just drag down.
No, you do Control Alt and then use the arrow keys to increase the number of lines that you select.
I see. Okay.
So, oops, but I can't do that on Linux because Control Alt is an operating system shortcut that does some like Windows navigation. So on Linux, I have to do Control Shift and do it that way. But yeah, that'll work. Okay, I'll let you get caught up for a second. I know everybody is probably doing everything, going crazy. Okay, next. We've got to do this. Okay. So let me, we have to do this a little bit different because the old way, this is the old way, and the old way is even worse. The new way on Haystacks Constants is way better, but we have to do this. We have to do it this way because this is the old way, and this is the way the code is doing. So it does suck even more, but it improves. And we don't have to write all of this out. Well, I guess we kind of do. So in the old version, this version that we're implementing now, we need to do module.exports equals open curly brace, and it does the close curly brace by automatic. And we got to put in special characters. And this may suck for right now, but it gets better. So here we define this as C space equals C space. And I don't know why I did that. Double quote like that, and then comma. And we have to do each and every single one of these like this, but we can make it easy, okay? We can actually come here and use multi-line editing to capture all of these lines. And then you have to use Control Shift arrow key over, and it'll auto select the first word of every line. Control copy. Okay. And now I can come back down here, escape all the way out of my multi-line edit, come back down here to this line right here, paste it in, and now I've got all of these. I need to go over back to the home key and use Control Shift arrows all the way up to this one, this second one down that I pasted. Tab those over, Control Shift up one more line, and now I can multi-line edit these guys, and I'm going to get them done like that. Okay, so here I'm doing a single square bracket, a single quote, and then I hit Control arrow over one, single quote, close square bracket, space equals space, and then I paste in again, Control V, okay, and then follow that with a comma, and then space, // space, okay, you got that? So I've just did all of those lines just like that, instead of having to write everything out. I'm leveraging the stuff that I typed already up here. We're going to do that again, starting right now. So I'm going to bring this cursor up here, click on in front of C space. Actually, we really only need to start with the underscore because we're going to copy everything after this, these double forward slash. So again, Control Shift, or in Windows is going to be Control Alt, down, multi-line edit. Okay, and now I'm going to press the End key on my keyboard. It takes me down to the end. And then I'm going to press Control Shift arrow left key, and it automatically selects all of those last characters between the forward slash space and then to the end. So I've got the last words. So now I do Control C to copy all of those, come back down here and click after this first underscore. Okay, actually what I should go, I should click here before the square bracket. Okay, Control Shift down arrow, multi-line edit, all of these guys. Hold on, give me a second. Phone call coming in, it's a spammer. Okay, sorry about that. I had a robocaller coming in again. All right, so I've multi-line selecting all these lines. Okay, and now I'm going to press the End key again. Takes me right back where I was. Press Control V, and I just did it. There it is. So now we have done all of those all at once. Okay, and now we can do a similar strategy for all of these. Okay, so we're going to copy, I'm just going to copy that. It's the comment. We'll come down 2 lines, press that, down 2 more lines, 3 more lines, and we're going to add this comment right there, down another line so we make space. And now all we're going to do is come to this CA right there, multi-line edit all of these, and press Control Shift arrow, and it automatically selects those first characters. Control C, come down here and tab it over, paste. And of course, these first lines, the first line it does it, but the rest of them don't. So you got to come in and multi-line edit these guys again, Control Shift or Control Alt, and tab all of those over at once. Okay, we can use that multiple ways. You're going to see that. We're going to use it. We're going to do some really cool stuff with that. Okay. Yeah. Now we're going to do the same thing here. Control Shift or Control Alt if you're on Windows. Multi-line edit those guys. And Control Shift, right arrow, and then Control C to copy. Okay, we'll come down here and paste that in. I'm going to tab that over. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to have to go do this again and tab all these lines over. There we go. Okay. Now, we got to actually do the rest of this stuff. And we need this actually twice. So we're going to do multi-line edit again here. Control Shift. Capture the cursor for all of those lines. I'm going to do Control Shift over, arrow over, Control C that again. Okay, and now I'm going to left arrow back, open square bracket, CC space plus, and we're going to leave it like that because that's what we need. And then right arrow once, twice, close bracket, colon, space, and then paste it in again. And then we do a comma, space, forward slash, space, Control paste. Oops, I did that wrong. I'm going to come back here. I need to copy that again, paste it here, only because I did it wrong. I pressed Control C when I should have pressed Control V. But I've done that. Now I'm going to come back, left arrow, delete. delete the C prefix, and now you've got the letters straight down. See how much easier that was than having to retype everything out and make everything. We've got to get this defined with these brackets like that, and we're exporting the constant that's defined. We have to do that because this was the old way of doing JavaScript, and that's just the way it was done. Like I said, when we get into the haystack constants, it's cleaner than this, I think. Yes, it is. It is cleaner. All right, Control Shift down. We're going to do the same thing here. You should be able to get the hang of this. Control Shift right arrow, Control Copy. Okay. Oh, I'm going back to the left arrow. Open square bracket. CC space Shift is plus space. We leave it like this. Right arrow twice. Close square bracket. Colon space. Control V. Paste it. Comma space // space, and then Control V again. Then we go left arrow once and backspace, or you could do left arrow twice and then press delete. Either way, you're just removing that C prefix. So now we've got these comments. Ultimately, later on, we just go to an export directly. Instead of saying let, we just export const and define it as a constant. That's the way we do it later. But this is the way it's done now because it's imported this way, and this is how it's working. All right, now comes the real suck, okay? And this is the part where you're going to use a whole lot more multi-line editing, and you're going to do it in blocks of 4, okay? So now we go double enter, and we say alphabetic codes, okay? And we're going to do lowercase aa dash uppercase aa, okay? And that's a comment to indicate that this next section of 4 is going to cover lowercase aa. I'll add an additional comment here. You don't have to add this. This is just for you, okay, for the lesson. We're going to start that's to explain this, what this means. So it means we're going to have the definitions for the constants AA, which is all lowercase, all the way up to uppercase A and lowercase a, and then lowercase a and uppercase A, and then double uppercase A. Okay, so that includes A, B, A, C, A, D, A, E, A, F, like that. Okay, and then this one would be A, B, A, C, A, D, A, E, A, F, like that. Okay, and then this one would be A, making sure I get this right. Actually, these two are swapped, but you get the idea. It's like that. That's going to be the order. So I think they are swapped. I have to check. Let's see here. Yes. No, they're not. No, it's like that. And then this one is like this. So then this would be B, C, D, E, F, like that. Okay. And then this one is A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. Okay. So it's a pattern, and it comes in sections of 4. I'm going to remove all of this because that was just to explain that. Okay. So let's go. There's a few special circumstances that don't work because of language limitations. And these are limitations on the JavaScript language. So there's a few little caveats where it doesn't work quite right, and we have to bend the rules a little bit in how we define this. But it is pretty comprehensive, and the language limitations are very far and few between. So we're going to define this, and the best place to start is probably with just this. So if we're going to compose this, let's do a multi-line edit with here. So Control Shift down, and we're going to build this up. Now I'm going to hit Shift End, which just copies the entire line for all of that section. So Control C, escape to get out of that, multi-line edit, and we come back down here, and I guess we won't tab it over. It'll make it easier. Control V, and so there we are. Okay, so Control Shift or Control Alt. Let's bring this up. Tab that over, and I guess this one now has to be tabbed over. Okay. All right. So now we have to do, yeah. All right. Let's multi-line edit again. Need to get back on this, and I'm going to go right arrow once, and we're going to do CC space plus like this. Oh, we've got the CC already. But instead of the second one, we can just delete that second C and put A. Okay. We've got the A, B, C, D all the way down. And now we can come over here and we can just type CA space plus space. Okay. And then we come over here to just before there and we put A. Okay, so there we've got our A, AA, AB, AC, AD, all lowercase, all the way down to AZ. Okay, so it's fairly easy to do it multi-line instead of having to hard code all of this. However, there is there's a caveat in this section. We can't use this. Okay, so I struggled with this, and I added a comment here, which I'm just going to add again. So I'm going to first wipe that line out because we cannot do that. I'm going to have two lines. I'm going to say note, have to watch out for the rest of these CA constants. Could have problems with them in the future. Okay. So that was a comment just because it's like a watch out that CA can be a thing, but it hasn't been. And so I add this other CLMNLRT3 equals AD in single quotes. And it's basically commenting out what I had. CA and CD is somehow a reserved word. Okay, let's wipe out that get carriage return. Okay, so that's something that you cannot do that. You cannot in any way, in any shape, in any form. It will not allow it. It's reserved by the language. All right. So now that we have one section done, it's going to make it easier to do the other three. And then once we have all four, then that's going to make it easier to do all 26 times 4. Which it ends up being a lot. 26 times 4 times 20. Yeah, it ends up being a lot. Okay, so let's copy that. And we can come down 2 lines, paste it. And now we need to clean this up. I should have done this before I did that, but whatever. Let's put it back. CC plus CA plus CD colon CD plus CA plus CD. Okay, so we got that back. Now we're not doing that. It's going to change, but it's not in this section. We have a different problem. It's somewhere else. We'll get there. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to do it's all uppercase in the A section. So let's go there. Multi-line edit, delete uppercase A. Okay, and then we come over here and we do the same, delete uppercase A, and we come over here and delete an uppercase A. So you see how easy that was. It was actually easier. But now we get to the AS and this AT we can't do that. Okay, and the reason why is because we have the constant at already defined up here in the special characters, right there, which is the at symbol. Which, why is it showing that? That should be, oh yeah, that's right. It's actually all the way up here. There it is. Okay, so we've already got that up there, so we can't have that down here. So it just has to come out, like we just commented out. And that one is a collision. We can't have that. And so here we just say we've already defined at equals and then the at symbol. Okay, so we can't do that. That's the only strange part right there. And now we can copy paste this entire block again. And we can come down to here, paste it in, and this time it is the second set of characters that are uppercase. Okay, so the first set is lowercase. So let's go back to that A, multi-line edit. Oh, let me remove the comment from this. Okay, you remove the comment by pressing Control / and that'll add a comment or remove it. Okay, Control / or press it again and it toggles the comment off. Here we can remove this comment, Shift End, and we're just going to leave that AT. Okay, now this is ready to edit. Okay, back here, multi-line edit, and delete and lowercase a. Let's come over to here, change that one to lowercase, and change this one to lowercase. All right, now we need our uppercase. So to get our uppercase, we can just go all the way back up here and capture this right here. Multi-line edit, Control copy, and we come down here, multi-line edit right there. And Shift right arrow to select and Control V to paste. Now, don't exit that multi-line by pressing escape just yet. We're going to go right arrow, come over here, Shift right arrow again, Control paste. Come over here again, Shift right arrow, Control paste. Okay, there's our third block. Now comes the fourth block, which we can just copy paste this. There are no caveats in that one. Everything's fine. Paste, copy, and paste. Okay, so here we're going to do the same thing. Now this one is the last one, which is all uppercase. So now we can do this, Control Shift, multi-line edit, delete, and Shift A. So it's all uppercase A's, same here, delete, Shift uppercase A, and we come to the last one right there, delete, Shift A. Okay, now we got all our uppercases. Okay, so there we go. So those are all the A's, and then we do the same for B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, all the way down to Z. All the way down to ZZ. Okay, so the next one, we got a block of 4 now. So this is 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections, all the way to, so here we're going to copy all of that, all of that, all of this, and all of that. So Control copy, paste, enter down to, and I'm going to add a comment here, and we're going to say BA to BA. Paste. Okay. So now, and we got to remove this because that was accidentally copied over. And this needs to be removed because that is not there like that. So let's re-add that back the way it should be. CC plus CA plus CD colon CA plus CD comma / CD. Okay. Now that's going to change, of course. We're going to go through and change all of these. let's make sure we remove this one, AT, and just change that to AT. Oops, AT. There we go. All right. So, how long are we going here? Oh, it's been about an hour. So we're actually going to wrap it up here because it's been about an hour. But I want to finish. We're going to finish this editing so you at least get a feel for what's coming next. Okay, so what you need to do in your homework. So here we do Control-Shift, multi-line edit, or Control-Alt for Windows, multi-line select those, delete, and change that to B. Okay, everything else that stays the same. We come here to the right, and that changes to a B, lowercase. Okay, we come over here and change that to a B. And we can keep our multi-line edit. That's okay. And we just scroll it down. It'll auto scroll down and get it aligned with this next row. Okay, so now this one is uppercase B, right arrow, and that's uppercase B. And this one is uppercase B. Okay, so there we've changed those. Now we can down arrow again, get our cursor aligned. And again, now this is going to be lowercase b. We change this one to lowercase b. And we change this one to lowercase b. Okay, last one. Arrow down. Oops, escape that. Don't double escape because you'll escape this multi-line edit. And we got just the right number of lines. This is perfect. We can keep it going. Okay, backspace shift B, make that uppercase. And this one changes to B. And this one also changes to B. So there you go. Now I can escape or click to get out of that multi-line edit, and we're good. So there we've done our second iteration. And we just need to do that 24 more times. Any questions? Next one.
Wait, you have to do it 24 more times?
Yeah, that's your homework. That's your homework. Next one would be CA to CA.
Every alphabet.
Yeah, every alphabet. Every letter.
Okay. So, since we're doing all of this in the exports, we also have to do it again outside the exports?
No. Because these are just reusing these constants. You don't. You're just using it here.
Okay.
But when we go to the Haystacks constants library, which you're not going to need to code that, okay? You're just we're going through the suck once in this format, and then we're never going to have to do it again, okay? That's the idea. It's just the one time because you got to get your fingers used to it. You saw how I was improving as I was going because my fingers are a little rusty. It's been like a year and a half since I really did this consistently. But at some point, you get really good at it to the point where it's second nature. And it doesn't detract from other styles of coding. It adds to it. So you're adding to your skills. And not only that, this parameterization gives us significant power advantages that you'd never get any other way. And it's hard to describe it until you see all the pieces start to come together. Yeah.
You're going to upload this video.
Yes. I'll edit this video. I probably won't edit it much. I'm just going to get it up the way it is. And I don't know exactly when I'll get it uploaded, but I'll get it uploaded. And yeah, so that's what that is. We just continue on C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, all the way down to Z. When we get down to Z, and by the way, you're going to end up with about 3,000 lines of code in this thing. That's what it's going to end up by the time you get to uppercase Z at the very bottom. So yeah, but it's mostly multi-line editing, and just copying and pasting. So you're not editing actual 3,000 lines. It's just multi-line edits, which go a lot faster. Okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Next week, we're going to cover basic constants, which is very simple. Configuration constants, very simple. We're going to cover country constants, which is not very difficult. We're going to cover generic constants, which is a little bit involved. So there's a little bit there. Language constants is very short. Message constants is basically empty at this point. Numeric constants is another long one, but again, it's just numbers. And so it goes pretty quick. Phonic constants is really long. That one's a lot. So we're going to struggle through that.
Why is it so long?
Because we have a lot of phonetic phrases. Phonics is long because of the phonetic phrases, and we have different variations of them as well. You'll see when we get there. It sucks, but it's okay. We'll just get through it, and yeah. System constants. System constants is a little bit involved. There's quite a few there. It's about that file is about 730 lines long. Unit constants is very short, and word constants is pretty big. There's a lot there. That file is about 5,000 lines long. But that's it. Once we do that, then we're done. And that may be the end of season 4. I'm not sure if this entire season is nothing but constants. We'll see. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. I'd have to check and see because I pre-did all these seasons. It may be that we go and implement all of these constants in the code. And that may be our next step. That may be another season or not. I'm not sure. I'll have to evaluate that. But that's your homework for this time. If you have any questions, let me know. And any questions right now while we're on the line?
It's pretty good, pretty straightforward. I think with the multi-line editing, it's pretty cool that exists.
Yeah. This will help your fingers. The multi-line editing, I mean, it doesn't really help so much. We just got to get this file well defined because we're going to use this file all over the place. Like this is the foundational file that we use to build all of our other constants. So with that, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Okay, so one thing, we got to add the changes to our repo. So you should have a constants branch. And if you don't, let's see here. You're on Linux, so I've got to do ls instead of dir. cd ls cd proj. Nope, cd. Is it one more? No. I should have. Oh, cd code. I called it code instead of proj. ls. Okay, and so here we have proj. Here's my proj. cd proj ls, and this one is cd calc framework ls. Okay, and here I can do git status. Oh, it's not a repository. Oh, that's right. Okay, well, normally what you would do is if you had a repo, and if you didn't have, you would need to establish a branch. So what I would do, I have these memorized already. I would do, if you have GitHub, which you should, and you should have a repo for this, then you would say git checkout space -b space a double quote, and then give it a branch name of constants. Okay, and then double quote, and then press enter. So that's how you do create a new branch. Okay, so that would be creating your branch on your calc framework. Git checkout space -b space constants in double quotes. Okay, that's going to create a branch called constants. Once you've done that, then you can get status. And once you press get status, it's going to show you that you're on your constants branch. You double check that. Okay, once you're on there, then you can do get commit -m space, double quote, and then you say constants colon space. This is a good format. It's best practice to indicate what branch you're pushing the change on. You're pushing it on the constants branch, so indicate that in your message. The double quotes is the message. -m indicates that it's the message. So you're making a commit message. This is your message. You're indicating in the message what branch you're pushing it to. And then here you would say, starting the basics.constants file, period, and the double quote, press enter. Okay, that would add your commit message. Once you've got your commit done, you can do get status again, press enter, and it's going to show you that commit is ready to go. Okay, once you do that, then you can say get push, press enter, and it's probably going to give you a message that says your default branch, push branch is not constants, and it's going to tell you what command to enter. So then you just type that command, which is going to include something with constants, okay? And it'll push that change to your constants branch. That's just the first time you create your branch. The first time you create your branch and the first time you commit to that new branch. After that first commit, you don't have to worry about it again. You can just say get push and it'll work. Okay, so that's a little bit about using get from the command line. If you need me to help you on a one-on-one basis, I can share my screen with you. You can share your screen back to me, and we can work through it if you're struggling with it. So message me if you are. I'm happy to help you on a one-on-one basis. No problem at all. Okay. I can also help you to learn get command line. I would say get command line is the way to learn get commands. The only time it doesn't work is if you're switching branches and you have multiple commits across multiple branches. And when it gets complex like that, then it's better to use GitHub Desktop. But I would say the best thing you can do for yourself is learn Git command line. It will help you, it will help us, it will help the project, and you will be happy for it, and you will thank yourself, and you will be very happy that you did in the long run. So really get familiar and force yourself to use the Git command line. Yeah, with that said, I think we'll wrap it up. That's how you do your Git commits. You need to make sure you push it to your calc framework on GitHub, to your repo. So yeah, I'll call that. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.